Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something a little different. We have a single source, a really comprehensive captain's report from a drawn cricket match between S2 and Chelsea.
Right, and we're using it to explore what success really means when, the final score doesn't tell the whole story.
Exactly. This wasn't just a cricket match. It was a stop-start battle against the weather, against the clock, and ultimately against a very strange technical ruling.
And that's the key thing from this report. The central tension wasn't S2 versus Chelsea. It was really S2 versus the rain.
Yeah.
The captain's view frames the whole day around just trying to maximize play. The weather wasn't just an interruption. It dictated every single tactical decision, starting with the toss.
And the most fascinating thing is that despite this incredibly frustrating premature end to draw that felt, frankly, unjust, the report calls it a successful day.
Which is what we have to unpack.
That's our mission today for you. How do you pull off a brilliant strategy, get 44 overs of cricket in, see these phenomenal performances, and still call it a success when you don't actually win?
Let's start right where the chaos began. The conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. The most valuable player of the day, according to this account, wasn't holding a bat or a ball.
No, not even close. It was pure infrastructure.
The new covers at Dendy. It's incredible. The report basically says that without those covers, given how much it rained, there would have been zero cricket. None.
And they got 44 overs in. It just speaks volumes about investing in the basics. We always focus on the players, the strategy.
Right.
But this battle was won before a ball was even bowled, thanks to those covers. And I love the little detail about the team getting better at putting them on and taking them off with each delay.
It turned this logistical nightmare into, like, a team-building exercise.
And that cohesion was vital, because the conditions weren't just a physical thing, they became the strategy. Winning the toss and choosing to bowl first. I mean, that's a huge gamble.
A massive gamble. Because if the afternoon is a complete washout, that decision just completely backfires. You get no result.
But the logic was there.
Oh, the logic was sound. You're deliberately trying to exploit the chaos. You force Chelsea to have, and I'm quoting here, an interrupted stop-starting batting innings.
So their rhythm is just gone.
Constantly broken. You're hoping they make mistakes right before a rain break or just after one, trying to force the pace.
Right. You make them think, oh, we've only got maybe 10 balls before it pours again. I've got to hit out now, and that leads to a bad shot.
That's the plan. But of course, the elements tested everyone's patience right from the start.
Yeah, play didn't begin until 1 p.m. You have to imagine these guys just huddled under a tent all morning, watching the ground staff fight a losing battle with the sky.
It sets a certain kind of grinding, frustrating tone for the whole day.
And when they finally got on, the bowlers had to be perfect to make that strategy work. Which brings us to the bowling innings, where we saw some truly remarkable stuff.
So the opening spell,
Yeah.
It was the captain and Joey. Good partnership, built some pressure. But the captain notes this fascinating detail.
What's that?
Joey's first over was a 10-ball over.
10 balls. What was that about?
The captain jokes he must have wanted a longer break before his next spell.
That's brilliant. But it does show the challenge, right? The umpires are calling really tight, wide lines. The pressure is on.
It is. But the captain gets that first breakthrough, a ball that swings in sharply, pad to stumps. First wicket down.
So far, so good. But then the change bowlers come on, Lal and Chris G, and this is where the story pivots.
It really does, because it shows the fine line between bowling well and having luck on your side. Lal, by all accounts, bowled beautifully.
But no wickets.
Just incredibly unlucky. He had several balls skied up, but they just kept landing safely, short of the fielders.
And that contrast just sets the stage perfectly. For Chris G. Lal's bad luck almost highlights how hard it was to get a wicket.
It does. And then Chris G comes on and finds all the rewards. And the context here, I mean, it's just staggering.
It is the story of the day. This guy comes on and bowls what the report calls an inspirational spell. He just rips through Chelsea's middle order.
His figures were 3 for 18 in 4 overs, just before the drinks break.
And these weren't tail-enders. This is the crucial part. He got the set opener, who was on 39, and the number 3, who was on 28.
Both of them were looking dangerous, on track for a half-century. Taking them out right then probably saved 30, maybe 40 runs.
But the grit. You just have to pause on the image that the source paints. He did this less than 24 hours after being in the ER.
With a white bandage on the middle of his head.
It's just, that is the definition of showing up for your team. You can't ask for more.
Absolutely not. After drinks, they keep the pressure on with Imal and Sam Barton. Imal was unlucky, a bit like his dad apparently,
Ah, I love that detail.
getting flight and turn, but no wickets.
Yeah.
But Sam Barton's quicker style got the job done, zipped one through a new batter, and Chelsea are suddenly 5 down.
And this is where the captain's overall strategy starts to become really clear. All this time, they've been holding back their secret weapon.
Their trump card,
Yeah.
the young place attack. Gabe, Will Marsh, Angus Scales, and Tom Black.
And the source says Chelsea was genuinely surprised by the pace these guys had when they came on late.
It's a brilliant piece of rotation.
Yeah.
You've had the batters dealing with spin and medium pace, and just when they think they can consolidate, you hit them with raw pace and bounce. Gabe and Angus specifically were noted for bowling beautifully.
But just as they're really turning the screws, what happens?
The inevitable. More rain.
Of course.
So after another delay and an early tee, the game gets officially shortened, 31 overs aside. And that's the trigger for Chelsea. They know they have to go for it.
Which is exactly what S2 wanted. Will Marsh gets a wicket from a wild swing.
And then things get genuinely scary.
Yeah. Tom Black, the young quick, is bowling, and the Chelsea captain just smashes a drive straight back at him.
The report says it hit him so hard, it looked like it took his arm clean off. He had to retire hurt.
That must have been a chilling moment for the whole team, to see one of your young players go down like that.
For sure. But this is where the captain steps up. Steps in true Pat Cummins style, takes over Tom's remaining balls, and just rolls through the tail.
And with Chelsea trying to hit every ball out of the park, the wickets just tumbled.
Yep. They were bowled out for 160 with 2 balls to spare.
So 160 to win. The report says with the quick outfield, that was seen as very gettable. Which brings us to the chase. Fast, dominant, and ultimately deeply controversial.
And there was basically no time to breathe. A 5-minute turnaround between innings. The openers, Damien and Angus Scales, had almost no time to get ready.
And yet, it apparently had no impact whatsoever. The report says they looked imperious from ball 1.
This partnership is the next big highlight. Damien was just on another level. Glorious cover drives. He flicked one over the boundary for 6.
And he brought up his first 50 for DNLs.
For the listener, DNLs is the club or league, so that's the specific culture the captain keeps referring to when he talks about success.
Right, thank you for clarifying that. And the source adds this great little detail. Damien was apparently motivated by getting a commemorative bat for the milestone.
Whatever works. Meanwhile, his younger brother Angus was just working the ones and twos, running hard, taking advantage of the older demographic in the Chelsea field.
They just crushed Chelsea's spirit. They put on 79, an unbroken stand in less than 11 overs.
But it was more than just the runs. The report stresses the emotional side of it. Seeing those two brothers bat together was, quote, another reminder of what DNL's cricket is really all about.
That spirit, that execution, it just reinforces that the result isn't everything.
And that high point makes the ending even tougher to swallow.
It really does. So Damien retires after his 50. Great move. Will Marsh comes in for a quick cameo, hits 3 fours, then chops on. Tom Black, who thankfully was okay, comes out to the crease.
So at this point, S2 is cruising. They're 1 for 94. They need just 67 more runs off 18 overs.
It's a walk in the park. Less than 4 and over. The time is 5:15 t.m.
And then the rain comes back.
But it wasn't the rain that ended the game, and this is the controversial part.
This is the moment of real frustration. The rain stops. The skies actually clear up. The players are ready to go back out and finish the job. But the game is called off. Abandoned.
Why?
Peter March gets a call from Adriano, and it's a strict technicality. S2 hadn't bowled enough overs by 5.15.
So it had nothing to do with the actual weather at that moment. It was just a procedural rule.
A procedural rule. And the captain was so furious, the source actually compares it to the Bairstow stumping, a rule being enforced when it felt against the spirit of the game. S2 was in a strong position, and both teams apparently wanted to finish it. The clock just stole the game.
But hang on a second. If the match was cut to 31 overs, and they only finished their bowling innings with 2 balls left, surely the captain should have pushed the over rate harder earlier.
That is an excellent and very critical point.
Is he maybe blaming the bureaucracy when his own time management was part of the problem? I mean, Joey's 10-ball first over didn't help.
You're right to question it. It suggests that while the abandonment was technical, the initial strategic risk, choosing the bowl, managing the delays, it all added up. They paid the price for maximizing the playing time at the expense of the clock.
A really harsh lesson.
It is.
Yeah.
Your resourcefulness has to extend to time itself, not just the pitch covers.
Which brings us right back to the central theme of this report. The source is adamant that results are not the only measure of DNL's cricket.
Precisely. The real victory, as he sees it, wasn't getting the win. It was the resourcefulness with the covers, the brilliant execution of holding back the pace attack, the team morale. That's the win.
The report really emphasizes that spirit, the huddling under the tent in the shipping container. The captain says how easy everyone made his job, despite the chaos.
And that's the final analysis. The outcome is a draw, but the day itself was a success. It showed they could execute a complex strategy under pressure, and it produced these incredible individual moments.
Chris G's 3 for 18.
And Damian Scales 50. They were masters of everything they could control, even if they couldn't control the rule book.
So if you're listening and want the key takeaways, lock these 3 things in. First, Chris G's 3 for 18, bowled with a bandage on his head from an ER visit the day before. That's pure commitment.
Second, that imperious 79-run opening stand from the Scales brothers that put the game beyond doubt.
And third, the bizarre rule that ended the game at 5:04 p.m. based on overs bowled, not the actual weather, highlighting that painful side of the sport.
And that leads to our final thought for you to chew on. If team morale and the joy of participation are the real metrics of success, as this captain suggests, how would this gritty, dramatic, inspirational draw be rated compared to a game they might have won easily by 10 wickets, but without that same spirit?
What does that kind of focus teach us about how we measure success, not just in sport, but in any competitive field?
Something to think about.
A fascinating idea. Success measured by spirit, not just the score. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it gives you a new way to think about competition and what a successful day really means.